What grade would I give Shedeur for the 2025 season? If I'm going to properly evaluate Shedeur Sanders, it's only right that I have to grade him on a curve, considering that Kevin Stefanski really didn't want Shedeur Sanders in the first place. It's painfully apparent. We found out that Shedeur and Kevin Stefanski just had a one-on-one conversation, like just those two, like in the last week that Kevin Stefanski was head coach for the Cleveland Browns. That's an asinine find that we have discovered in this whole process of Kevin Stefanski being fired by my Cleveland Browns. That's incredible to think about. That just proves to you that Kevin Stefanski really didn't like Shedeur. He didn't even want him to be the quarterback at all this year. He's been on record saying that he wanted this season for Shedeur Sanders to be a redshirt season. So with all that considered, from Shedeur being QB4 at the beginning of training camp to him rising all the way to QB1, we have to grade him on a curve. I mean, you can't realistically be like, oh, all things considered, considering that he had one of the worst offensive lines to work with, combined with one of the worst receiving cores to work with in probably the past 5 years in the NFL, for being honest. Pro Football Focus ranked the Browns' offensive line as 32nd. Pro Football Focus also ranked the wide receiving core for the Cleveland Browns at 32nd. So he's working with the worst offensive line in the NFL. He's working with the worst receiving core in the NFL. But you're expecting him to go out there and be legendary. Okay? Josh Allen in his rookie season had 10 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Peyton Manning in his rookie season had 28 interceptions. And these were quarterbacks who franchises wrapped their arms all around their quarterbacks. Shedeur Sanders had 8 total touchdowns and 10 interceptions with a Cleveland Browns team and Kevin Stefanski, who did not willingly wrap his arms around him. So imagine what Shedeur can do if he actually had a coach that believed in him. I believe Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam, they do like Shedeur Sanders. Okay, I think they understand that there's something there and they understand business. Kevin Stefanski did not. That's why Kevin Stefanski is out of town. So I'm adding some context before I give a grade for Shedeur. So we have to add context and we have to add backstory. All right. Shedeur in 7 games this year, okay, threw for 1,400 yards, about 200 yards a game. That's more than any Browns quarterback. Shedeur was 3-4 as a Cleveland Browns starter. I saw some people out there credited him with 4 wins. We don't count preseason wins. I don't know where y'all getting 4 wins from. Okay, you don't. If you see a graphic that says 4 wins, ignore that graphic. All right, he was 3-4 in the regular season. We aren't counting preseason wins. We're not counting preseason stats. Okay, because he did play well in the Panthers game, but we don't count those touchdowns. As well as we don't really count that, even though a lot of people, they counted the Rams game against him. It's funny, they counted the Rams game against him, but really didn't give him too much credit for the Panthers game. It's funny how that works. And it's funny who controls the narrative out there in media. Watch out there who's relaying the information. All right, there are true narratives and biases in media. But yeah, Shedeur, 7 games, 1,400 yards, 8 total touchdowns, 10 interceptions. I don't even care about the QBR. I don't care about the passer rating. It's like, when all things are considered, how did the Shedeur look on tape? Okay, all those advanced analytics, all those QBR, the passer rating, you need to watch the film. What did the film tell you? All right, the film showed me with Shedeur that he does have some improvement and he does have some things he needs to work on. But I saw Shedeur every game work on something. All right, I think the biggest thing for Shedeur moving forward is just consistency. All right, we've seen Shedeur make every throw. We've seen Shedeur throw it deep. We've seen Shedeur check it down. We saw a game where Shedeur was like 75% completion percentage. We saw a game where Shedeur was wildly inaccurate a few times. We saw a game where Shedeur threw for 300 yards. We saw a game where Shedeur threw 3 interceptions. We saw a game in his debut, which he won, where he looked very composed. He wasn't asked to do a whole lot. He understood the game plan, and he executed the game plan beautifully. We saw a game in Cincinnati, his last game out, where he didn't have his fastball, but he went out there. He didn't play a great game at all, but he led a game-winning drive. Okay, that counts for something. That shows he has moxie. Okay, that shows he has it. And I like what I saw from Shedeur, considering everything around him. Okay, considering he had a makeshift offensive line, considering he had multiple touchdown passes that were dropped. I can go 4. He should have had 4 more touchdowns. The very first game, Gage Larvadan, right here, had it snatched out of his hand. He had 2 in the Cincinnati game, where Sal Cannella had the ball dropped in the end zone. Isaiah Bond, another one. He didn't run up underneath it. He took the wrong angle. That was a good ball. That's a good enough ball. You got to make that play in the NFL. Okay? And then Jerry Jeudy in the Bears game. Right here. Boom. Dot. That was a 3-interception game. Dot. Ended up being an interception. Should have had a touchdown that game. He should have had a touchdown every game he played this year. But it was because he had 2 touchdowns dropped in the Cincinnati game. That would have did a lot. It would have did wonders of what people thought of that performance if he had those 2 completions. I mean, the 111 yards would have been more like 180, and he would have had 2 touchdowns, and the passer rating looks a lot better. So these passer ratings are very fickle. Okay, very fickle depending on if you have touchdowns or interceptions. And it's very it's a thin line between having a touchdown and not having a touchdown. He should have more touchdowns on a year if he had better talent around him. He would probably have less interceptions if he had better talent around him. Now, I'm not absolving him of all of the interceptions he threw. I would say probably half of the interceptions were poor decisions on his side. And I would say half of the interceptions were contributed to poor offensive play and his receivers not really fighting for the ball. Jerry Jeudy accounted for 2 interceptions. The Bears one, and also in the I think it was in the Bills the Steelers game, where it's like, bro, he made a bad decision initially to throw it up to the guy, but bro, you have to at least help your rookie out, knock that ball down. And not suffice to say, Andrew Berry said that there's going to be some sweeping changes on the offense. I think it's pertaining to Jerry Jeudy. I don't think Jerry Jeudy is going to be in Cleveland next year. If Andrew Berry can help it, if he has anything to say about that. But getting to a grade for Shedeur to wrap up this video. I know I've been talking for about 8 minutes now. I would give Shedeur a C+ on the year, grading on a curve, of course. Okay, I can't in good faith give him anything higher than a C, because I mean the record is 3-4. It's under 500. I mean, he does have more interceptions than touchdowns, but it's not the worst thing to have a C+ on a year, considering everything. Considering he was QB4, and considering that he was QB1 at the end of the year, started 7 games, started the most games for the Cleveland Browns, put up the best stats for the Cleveland Browns. I don't care what the analytics say. Okay, he put up a 364-yard game. Joe Flacco didn't put up 364. Dylan Gabriel didn't put up 364. They didn't attribute for 4 touchdowns in the game. So he played the best quarterback. He also played the worst quarterback for the Cleveland Browns this year too. So there's that. But overall, he's a rookie with limited reps in training camp. I'm interested to see what Shedeur looks like in 2026 with a head coach that believes in him, that will wrap his arms around him, and actually an offseason with a scheme that suits what he does well. I'm very interested to see that. But yeah, C+ for Shedeur on the year. Do your thing, Shedeur. Wrist up, gang. Let's go, baby. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Let's go. All right, KSK rolling out. If you have not liked and subscribed to KSK Sports, like and subscribe. Rolling out. It's dark out here. I'm in a creative space right now, man. I got a lot of ideas. I want to get them out while I have them here. So I'm getting a lot on video right now. I love my back porch. It has lighting. It's perfect. It's a perfect backdrop. It's just dark behind me, then it's light in front. I love that. But I got my dog. He wants to get in the house, so Yeah, I'm about to go out of the house now. It's chilly out here. All right, KSK rolling out. Peace.